Tonight's homework is on Navi, page number 100 and 101. We're going from Pasuk Vav till the end of the parak, so it's going to be chapter 2, Pasuk Vav, till the end of the parak, okay? So, here's how it's going to go. Please read it with me when you're reading it at home. That's the homework for tonight. Vayishalach Yoshua et Am, vayelchu v'nei Yisrael ish lenachalo lereshet al haaretz. When Yoshua dismissed the Jewish people and told them that the war is over and you should go to your places, the Jewish people went to their territories that they were given. Vayavdu am et Hashem kol yemei Yoshua v'chol yemei hazkenim asher echiu yamim achrei Yoshua asher ro et kol maaseh Hashem hagadol asher asa l'Yisrael. The people served God during the lifetime of Yoshua and the lifetime of the elders of the people who lived after Yoshua. Those elders, there were 70 elders, and there were great deeds that happened, great miracles that took place during this time. Vayamat Yoshua bin Nun, Eved Hashem ben Mea ve'esrim shana. Yoshua passed away at the age of 110, and he was a servant of Hashem. Vayikver ota bigvul nachalat bitimnat cheres bahar Ephraim mitzvon lahar Ga'ash. And he was buried on his own property in a place called Timnat Harat, in the hill country of Ephraim, north of Mount Gash. Vagam kol ador hahu nasu et avotev vayakam dor acher acherehem asher lo yad'u et Hashem v'gam et ha'maaseh asher asa l'Yisrael. And all that generation and all the people that were alive during the times of Moshe and Yoshua, they all passed away, and their children came, which they had not experienced the miracles of Moshe and Yoshua from those days. Pasuk Yud Aleph. Vayasu v'nei Yisrael et hara b'einei Hashem vayavdu et haBaalim. The Jewish people did evil in the eyes of Hashem, and they served the god called Baal. Vayazu et Hashem Elokei avotam hamotzi otam me'eretz Yisrael. Vayelchu achrei Elokeim acharim me'elokei ha'amim asher tzivuotem vayishtachavu lahem vayichnesu et Hashem. And they went against Hashem, and they served these other gods, and they went against Hashem, who was the God of their ancestors that took them out of the lands of Egypt. And they followed these other gods, the gods of the people that were around them, which were the Canaanim. And this made Hashem very upset. Vayazu et Hashem, vayavdu l'Baal la v'la Ashtarot. And they forsake Hashem. That means they left Hashem, and they went to serve Baal and the Ashtarot, which were different idols. Vayicha af Hashem b'Yisrael vayitnem biyad shoftim v'yashotu otam vayimkerem biyad oivim misaviv v'lo yelchu od la'amud lifnei avim. And therefore Hashem became upset, and Hashem then handed them over to their enemies, the Jewish people, and made it that the enemies could attack the Jewish people, and it was easy for the enemies of the Jewish people to attack the Jewish people, and that they no longer had their held against their enemies. That means Hashem made the Jewish people weaker and made it easier for their enemies to conquer them. In all of their campaigns, in all of their wars that the Jewish people went against these other nations, they were losing and failing. As Hashem had declared, as Hashem was, that they were all going to basically lose their wars, that even when they thought they're going to win, they're going to lose. Vayakam Hashem shoftim vayoshium miyad shoseim. And Hashem raised up their chieftains who delivered them from those who plundered. So this is talking about what's going to happen in the rest of the Navi, which is that the Jewish people will lose, they will do teshuvah, and then after this, they're going to have chieftains, which we call shoftim, that are going to be leaders, that are going to lead the Jewish people into battle to win against their enemies. V'gam el shoftim lo shomea ki zanu achrei elokim achrim yishtachav lahem sar mehar min haderech asher halchu avatom lishma mitzvot Hashem lo asachein. But they did not heed the words of the shoftim either, and they went astray after the gods of the nations. That means after the shoftim passed away, the Jewish people would go back to serving these gods, as we learned in the Navi, and we're going to learn again in Chazara, that the Jewish people, every time they made a mistake, every time a shofet died, they went and they followed the shoftim again. They followed those gods again. That means a few years after the shofet would pass away, usually they go back to this. Pasuk Yud Ches. V'chi heikim Hashem lahem shoftim ha'aya Hashem ha'shofet v'hoshiyim miyad oivim kol yimei ha'shofet ki yinachem Hashem min ha'akasam mipnei ha'chatzeim v'dochakeim. When Hashem raised up their chieftains, God was with them. And Hashem was with these chieftains, with these shoftim, with these Navim. and He would save them during the lifetime of these people. For Hashem would be moved by pity for the Jewish people when they cried out to Hashem. V'hayi b'mot hashofet yashvu yishichitu me'avotam l'echet acharem elokim acharem la'avdam l'ishtachve lahem lo yipilu mima'aleim midarkem hakasha. But when the chieftains died, they would again act worse and act baselessly and stupid and go and follow these other gods, and they would go back to their stubborn ways of serving avodah zarah again. And Hashem, having become upset with the Jewish people, said, since the nations that have transgressed my covenant again, meaning since the Jewish people went against what I said, I'm going to let them go to their let the nations win them. No, I'm go. They're waiting.
I know that. But,
go.
Miss Bobby told me to tell you to sign this.
Okay.
This is signature over here.
Sorry. Go ahead. No, I'm go.
Wait,
Run. Their bus is waiting. Your bus is waiting. Gam lo sifu lo ish mipneim min hagoyim asher azav Yoshua amot. I, for my part, will no longer drive out the enemies before you like I did in the days of Yoshua. This is Hashem speaking, that I'm not going to make it easy for you anymore. Laman nasut bam et Yisrael Hashem heim al derech Hashem lechet bam kasher shamru avatam imlo. For it was in order to test the Jewish people by them. Hashem would send these evil enemies against the Jewish people and give them as a test for the Jewish people to realize that Hashem is the only one in control of the world. That God had left these nations instead of driving them out, and that made it the Jewish people would have to fight these nations on their own, meaning make it a lot harder for them. That's where we're up to. That's the end. We're up to Parag Gimel now. This is tonight's homework. It's a little bit of a longer video. Best of luck. Please make sure to go through it at least once. Twice would be even better. Hatzlacha Rabbah, and have a good night.